Why are every war and every tragedy happening in the Middle East? Every humanitarian situation and every difficult situation is happening in the Middle East. Why? Why do the wars of the Middle East never come to an end? Why do its conflicts never come to an end? Today, we will explore all of this. Wherever you live in this world, I am sure you have heard of the war in Iraq, the war in Iran, the war in Afghanistan, the war in Yemen, Sudan, Libya, Lebanon, and Palestine. You have heard of the war between Iran and the US, the war between Iran and Israel, the war between Yemen and Saudi Arabia, the civil war in Sudan, the war between Palestine and Israel, the war between Israel and Lebanon, the war between Syria and Israel, the wars between the different groups living in Iraq and the different groups living in Syria. I am sure you have heard all of this and have asked yourself why. What is this cursed land? What happened to this land? Today we need to show you something that the media has hidden from you in order to keep you blind. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and support us with your comment. Stay with us until the end of this documentary because it will not be a waste of your time. We are dividing this into two parts, only two parts, not three, only two. One is the conflict between religions, and the other is the conflict over borders. We are starting with the conflict over borders. The conflict over borders has two parts: the conflict between Muslims and the conflict between Muslims and Israel. If we start with the conflict between Muslims, we have only one answer, and that answer is this. When the French and the British empires created the Sykes-Picot borders, they divided the Muslim Ummah into countless countries. For example, look at Bahrain. It is such a small island that anyone who sees it would never say it is a country, but they made it a country. Look at Qatar. Look at Kuwait. Why did they do this? The people who live in this region are Arabs. But why did they do this? They wanted this land to become the mother of wars for all time, and they thought that this land would never become a peaceful land because of these divisions. When Arabia alone has more than 10 countries, how can there be peace with endless borders? And there is another secret. If the Muslims gain power, they will get rid of every other power in this world if they refuse to accept Islam. There is one reality. If the Muslims gain power, they will say, accept Islam, pay the jizya, or prepare for war. The French and the British empires understood this, and they said, if we defeat them today, they will never unite to fight against us again. So they decided to defeat them. When the Muslim armies marched from Spain into France, they fought the army of Charles Martel in the Battle of Balad el-Shuhada. That battle was one of the most difficult wars Europe had ever seen. When the Muslims conquered Spain and Al-Andalus, the Europeans and the Christians understood that a great danger was coming from the Muslim lands. So they made a plan. They said, we have to stop them before they continue their invasions and advance. That is the second secret behind why the British Empire and the French Empire defeated the Muslim Ummah. And there's another lesson. When the Ottoman Empire conquered the Eastern European countries, such as the Balkan countries, Europe was shocked. Then they began to stop and destroy the Ottoman Empire. You see, today the Turkish people cannot read the books of the Ottoman Empire. Their language was changed, and the writing system of their language was changed by the European powers of that time. Why did they do all of this? They knew what would come next if the Muslims gained power. Now, let's move on to the conflict between religions. If we look at the conflict among Muslims, there are two groups of Muslims. One is the Shia group, and the other is the Sunni group. That conflict has never come to an end. It started during the time when Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan and Ali ibn Abi Talib may Allah be pleased with them both, fought in the Battle of Siffin and also during the conflict between our mother Aisha and Ali. May Allah be pleased with them all. So, the Shia group and the Sunni group have been fighting each other. They are fighting, and each of them is trying to gain control of the Kaaba and Masjid al-Nabawi. That conflict will never come to an end as long as these two groups exist in this world. So look at the Muslim countries, especially when we are talking about the Asian countries and the Arab countries. There are two groups, Shia and Sunni. In almost every Muslim country, there are Shia and Sunni communities. And that is one of the reasons why the Middle East became the mother of wars. Okay, in this part, we are discussing the conflict between Israel and the Muslim countries. This conflict did not begin in 1948, when the State of Israel was established. Rather, it began when Islam began in Medina. The Prophet, peace be upon him, fought against some of the Jewish tribes who lived in Medina more than once. On top of that, when the Muslims conquered Beit al-Maqdis, Jerusalem, under the command of Abu Ubaidah, at that time the Jews and the Christians lost their power in Jerusalem, and the Muslim army took control of the city. After the Israeli government was established in 1948, Israel expanded. And from that day until now, it has continued to expand its territory. You have to know this sentence, this horrible sentence. Israel has no borders. Israel is borderless. The only country, the only government in this world that has no borders is Israel. They are trying to conquer the land between the Nile River and the Euphrates River in Iraq. They want to build a kingdom, and they want to build the Temple of Solomon. They are trying to do many things. They are following their book. That is one of the greatest conflicts in the Middle East. To explain it simply, Israel wants to expand its country and its government. It also wants to build the Temple of Solomon, destroy Jerusalem, and become the greatest kingdom in the world. The Muslims are refusing that, and they are strongly opposed to it. And that is one of the greatest conflicts between these people.